Your grocery store was designed by psychologists, and it's costing you $2,000 a year. Every supermarket in America uses the same playbook. The produce is always on the right. The milk is always in the back. The bread is never near the entrance. None of this is accidental. Grocery stores spend millions engineering their layouts using behavioral psychology, sensory manipulation, and traffic flow algorithms designed to make you walk past as many products as possible. The average American family spends $7,700 a year on groceries. Industry data shows that 60 to 70% of what people buy in a grocery store was not on their original shopping list. That's $4,600 to $5,400 in unplanned purchases. And the store layout is the #1 driver of that behavior. Today, we're going to expose the 7 layout traps that every grocery store uses, the psychology behind each one, and the counter strategies that can save you over $2,000 a year. The first trap starts before you even reach the shelves. It's called the decompression zone. The first 5 to 15 feet inside every grocery store is intentionally empty or low stimulation. No products, no signs, no promotions. Retail consultant Paco Underhill, who studied 900 million shoppers over 3 decades, discovered that people need this transition space to shift from outside mode to shopping mode. During this decompression phase, your walking speed drops by 40%. Your pupils dilate to adjust to the indoor lighting. Your brain begins scanning for visual cues. And here's the critical finding. Anything placed in the decompression zone is invisible to shoppers. People walk right past it. That's why stores never put sale items near the entrance. Instead, they use this zone to trigger sensory cues. The smell of fresh bread or rotisserie chicken is often pumped into this area through ventilation systems. A University of Leicester study found that ambient food scents increase overall spending by 15 to 20%. Your stomach starts making decisions before your brain even engages. After the decompression zone, almost every grocery store routes you through the produce section first. This is not because fruits and vegetables are the most popular category. It's because fresh produce triggers a psychological phenomenon called licensing. When you fill your cart with healthy items first, your brain grants you permission to buy indulgent products later. A study published in the Journal of Marketing Research found that shoppers who selected fruits and vegetables first were 35% more likely to then purchase cookies, chips, and ice cream. The colors play a role too. Produce sections are designed with bright, warm lighting that makes fruits and vegetables look more vibrant and appetizing. The water misting systems aren't just for freshness. They create a visual signal of quality and abundance. Red apples, orange citrus, green lettuce, yellow bananas. This explosion of color creates a positive emotional response that puts you in a spending-friendly mood. The produce section also serves another function. It makes the store feel like a premium experience. Shoppers who start in produce rate the entire store as higher quality, even if the packaged goods are identical to a discount competitor. Now here's the layout strategy that costs the average family the most money. It's called the perimeter trap. Every grocery store places essential items along the outer walls. Dairy in the back left, bread in the back right, meat along the rear wall, deli on one side, frozen foods on the opposite side. This forces you to walk the entire perimeter of the store to collect basic items. The average grocery store is 48,000 square feet. Walking the full perimeter adds 400 to 600 extra feet to your shopping trip. And here's the data that matters. For every additional minute you spend in a store, you spend $1.70 more. The average grocery trip takes 41 minutes. If you could reduce that to 25 minutes, you'd save $27 per trip. At 2 trips per week, that's $2,800 per year. But the perimeter trap does more than add walking time. It forces you through the center aisles, where the highest margin processed foods live. The profit margin on fresh produce is 5 to 10%. The margin on packaged snacks and cereals is 30 to 50%. Every extra aisle you walk down exposes you to 300 to 600 additional products. And research shows that every product you see increases your purchase probability by 0.3%. Walk past 500 extra products, and statistically, you'll buy 1 to 2 more items you never planned to purchase. The next trap is invisible unless you know to look for it. It's shelf placement science. Grocery stores divide shelves into 4 zones, and each one is engineered for a specific purpose. The top shelf holds premium and specialty brands. These items have lower sales volume but higher margins. The eye-level shelf, roughly 4 to 5 feet from the floor, is the most valuable real estate in the store. Brands pay slotting fees of $50,000 to $500,000 per item per chain to secure eye-level placement. This is where the store makes the most money. The items at eye level are almost never the cheapest option. A Nielsen study found that products at eye level outsell products on the bottom shelf by 35%. Kids' cereals with cartoon characters are placed at the eye level of a child, roughly 3 feet from the floor. Sugary cereals, chocolate milk, and candy are all positioned at a height that puts them directly in a child's line of sight. The bottom shelf holds store brands and generics. These products often come from the exact same factories as the eye-level brand names. The packaging is plainer, the placement is worse, but the quality is frequently identical. The store makes less per unit on these items, which is exactly why they're hidden on the bottom shelf. End caps are the displays at the ends of every aisle, and they are the most profitable square footage in the entire store. Brands pay stores $10,000 to $50,000 per end cap per month for placement. And most shoppers assume that end cap products are on sale. But a study by the Food Marketing Institute found that 45% of end cap items are at full price. They're positioned to look like deals using larger price tags, yellow and red signage, and words like featured or great value. The mere placement on an end cap increases sales of that product by 30 to 40%, even when the price hasn't changed at all. Here's the counterintuitive part. Items that actually are discounted on end caps are typically marked down by only 5 to 10%. That same product might be 20 to 30% cheaper at a competing store. The end cap creates what psychologists call a fluency effect. Your brain processes information faster when it's prominently displayed, and that processing fluency gets misinterpreted as evidence that the product is a good value. You don't compare the price. You trust the placement. The final physical trap is the checkout lane, and it's responsible for $5.5 billion in impulse purchases in the United States every year. The checkout lane is a 12 to 15-foot gauntlet of candy, magazines, gum, batteries, and single-serve beverages. These items have the highest markup in the entire store, often 200 to 400% above wholesale cost. The placement is strategic. You're standing still, often with children, with nothing to do but look at products. The average checkout wait is 4 to 6 minutes, and your willpower has been depleted by 40 minutes of decision-making throughout the store. This is a phenomenon psychologists call decision fatigue. After making 50 to 100 micro-decisions about what to buy, your brain's ability to resist impulse purchases drops dramatically. A study by the National Association of Convenience Stores found that 82% of checkout purchases are unplanned. The average checkout impulse purchase is $3.50. Over 100 trips per year, that's $350 per person, or $700 to $1,000 for a family of 3. Grocery chains have actually fought legislation to ban junk food from checkout lanes because the revenue is that significant. Now let's turn these layout traps into savings. Here are 5 counter strategies backed by the same behavioral science that stores use against you. Strategy 1. Always shop with a written list and a hard budget. A University of Pennsylvania study found that shoppers with written lists spend 23% less than those without. The list creates what psychologists call a commitment device that anchors your decisions. Strategy 2. Shop the perimeter selectively, not sequentially. Instead of walking the entire store, go directly to the departments you need. Dairy, produce, protein. Skip the center aisles unless a specific item is on your list. This alone cuts your time by 15 minutes and reduces impulse exposure by 60%. Strategy 3. Always check the bottom shelf first. Store brands and generics on the bottom shelf are 20 to 40% cheaper than eye-level brands. Consumer Reports found no quality difference in 80% of store brand versus name brand comparisons. Strategy 4. Never trust Endcap pricing without comparison. Use a price per unit comparison before grabbing any Endcap item. The unit price label on the shelf edge is your most powerful tool. Strategy 5. Use self-checkout or scan and go to bypass the checkout gauntlet entirely. Stores with self-checkout report 30% fewer impulse purchases at the register. Every minute you don't spend staring at candy is money saved. What's the sneakiest layout trick you've noticed at your grocery store? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to see how Amazon's pricing algorithms manipulate you online, that video is right here. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another smart shopping breakdown. See you in the next one.